My Spiritual Business Mastery 101 program is now open for enrollment. It is an 11-week live coaching program where I offer the strategies, tips, tricks, and mindset shifts on starting and creating a spiritual business that aligns with you. Visit thehappyhealingshop.com/mastermind to learn more and sign up. Enrollment is closing in the next week. After leaving the corporate 9-to-5 grind, I became the boss of my own spiritual business, helping others explore and navigate the human experience from insight, wisdom, and lessons learned along the way. Today, I help aspiring spiritual entrepreneurs gain the confidence to share their gifts with the world. Welcome to the Happy Healing Shop podcast. I'm your host, Trang Pham Nguyen, and each week we'll dive into incredible stories of strength, resilience, and transformation. So, if you are ready for some serious breakthroughs, laughs and tears, and stories that will inspire you, you are in the right place, my friend. Let's get started. Welcome to another episode of the Happy Healing Shop podcast. My name is Trang, and today I will be talking about something that popped in my head a while back. And it's when people talk about finding your passion. And I'm not going to lie, it's something that makes my eye twitch a little bit or irk a little bit, because I think while the intention is good, I think it can be misleading for a blanket statement to apply to people like that. And I think with passion, that's something that's changing and fleeting over time. Your passion at 5 years old is going to be maybe different when you're 50 years old. So sometimes when we say this, follow your passion, it might give the idea of clinging onto something so hard that as you get older, you might not be flexible with it until you realize, I don't know, the universe pushes you on another path, or maybe you fell out of love with it. And another way to look at it is, for example, when I was a kid and when I went to the library, I would naturally gravitate, and I was probably like 5 to 8 years old, I would naturally gravitate to the cookbook aisle and the craft aisle, more so cookbook and hosting. So when you see that in a kid, you might think, oh, maybe they'll become a chef, have their own catering business, or work in a restaurant in the future when they grow up, right? But what I came to realize is, if you look at it this way, where you're taking your many passions and you can bring that essence of it to what you do, right? So I remember also as a kid, I wanted to be, and this is probably influenced from my parents, I wanted to be a nun or a doctor. So Asian, I know. And it's because, when you look at them, there was a common thread, or at least back then I remember being like, I want to help people. I want to save lives, I guess, if I was a doctor. I don't know. And then when I went to college and I realized when I took bio 151, I was like, no, I am not going to be in school for another 10, 15 years for this. I do not have that much passion for it. But if you see the essence of it, it is really about wanting to, I guess, in a way, heal people or maybe nurture people. And I was one of those people that had such odd and random jobs. There's some people that will have like a career trajectory where you can see the resume. It's very targeted. It's very concentrated on a certain thing. Mine was a lot of customer service jobs or retail and hospitality jobs that I held in college in my 20s. So to start off, in high school, my first job was actually at a plant and garden nursery. And there I learned pretty much how to garden. And no, it wasn't something I was thinking of doing as a career in the future, but I could still take that knowledge and learn from there and apply to something in the future. I was also a server for a semester in college at a local diner. Other jobs I held was being an event planner at school. So we would host like craft nights, some festivals, and that was really fun. I've worked at Starbucks before. I've worked at a frozen yogurt shop and also a spice shop. That was one of my favorite jobs because, again, I am drawn to cooking. And then when I traveled to Australia and worked there for a year, I did a few months of investigation work for like the toll road department. I know it's as funny as that sounds. And then also pretty much a debt collector as well. But you look back and sometimes you think, oh, were those jobs just a waste of time, or were they just to get money so I could get by? But if I look back and think about each job, I know there was a tiny, let's say lesson, but kind of behind the scenes that you learn. In a lot of jobs, I learned that it is not all that it's cracked up to be. I learned that there's a lot of people that really don't care about work or their teammates. However, there's always a handful of people that you meet that make work worth it. Oh, I also forgot. I also used to work for NBC Universal and also Disney as well. And those are the two office jobs I mainly had. And I was an executive assistant. It made me, I think I learned that an assistant is such a vital role in helping someone succeed. So when people have small businesses and they debate whether or not to have an assistant, I'm one of those people that I am not afraid to delegate work to an assistant. I don't really have a hard time of letting go and letting someone else take care of it because I personally know how much work an assistant can do. So you don't have to focus on the other nitty-gritty stuff and you can focus more on what you're good at or the content or being with your clients or content creation. And I also know what to look for in a person that would make a great assistant. Rewind all the way back to my childhood and how I went to the library and I always liked and was drawn to the cookbooks and how to decorate a cake. And I realized over time, looking back now, that the essence of me is that I like to bring people together. And that happens in life through hosting dinner parties or going out to eat and taking that to creating the Happy Healing Shop today. It's creating a community atmosphere. And when you create those community events, you are in a way trying to make it comfortable and cozy for the people that come. After working and dealing with so many people at odd end jobs, I also realized like, hey, one thing that's missing in a lot of companies is, and you probably understand this, good customer service, good quality, people that listen. With these odd end jobs, it's learning also, or even really having exposure with all different types of people. So I don't get as, I guess, culture shock, or I don't get as weirded out when I meet people that maybe feel like the black sheep, or they feel like they don't belong in certain communities or groups. And I'm able to bring them in a space where they feel comfortable. And so bringing it back to the point of, follow your passion. Sometimes I think about wherever the universe leads you to, whatever roles you take, don't think it's a waste of time because you never realize that the essence of something in you, you're going to bring it to whatever your career is going to be, whatever you're going to, like, for example, at Disney. I had a thing called free food thread. Everyone loved that email thread. Pretty much when there was free food from a conference or a meeting or something like that, I would tell people, hey, go to conference room 416 and there's going to be free tacos or leftover tacos, and people would storm by. And in a way, it's one of those things, I didn't have to do that work, but it's kind of a natural essence I bring to work. And what's funny is that people from different departments got to meet and know each other because of the free food thread. So it's kind of like bringing community, creating community without me realizing it. And looking back now and today, I didn't realize that was kind of like a quiet secret strength of mine. So that quote of, find your passion, follow your passion. You don't find your passion, I think, overnight or within a year or within a direct career path. We're humans, we're complex, we're multifaceted beings. So think of it as you develop your passions and they can change or they can manipulate, they can tweak over time because you change over time as a person. So in my case, one of the things that I realized I'm passionate about without realizing it is bringing people together, creating community, hosting events, creating that fun and warm space where people feel included. Is that something I could put on a traditional formal resume? Not sure about that, but it's just another way to consider what your gifts are and maybe gives you a hint at, I guess, what your passion might really be. I would love to hear from you. If there is a skill or a passion that you realize you have looking back on your life, let me know. One last tip is ask your friends. Ask your friends what are 3 great qualities about you. And this is such a great exercise because they will say some things that you didn't realize that you were good at. And it can be a very eye-opening experience and also a positive experience. So, with that, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you can see how your gifts can shine in a different, non traditional light. And a quick announcement, my Spiritual Business Mastery 101 live coaching program is closing soon. If you are looking to start and create your own spiritual healing practice in business and need guidance on how to reframe and shift your mindset, or tips and strategies, or even what technology to use, learn more and sign up by visiting thehappyhealingshop.com/mastermind. Thanks, and I'll see you next week.